Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Let me just give a disclaimer. I don't know if I'm gonna keep up with it, but tonight, since I ain't doing nothing else, I am going to be reviewing Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 10, Episode 1. If you are new here, then welcome. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Okay, come on, new theme song. Okay, got something else. I'm looking for This Is the Life. This is the life. Honey, y'all know how they do. So anywho, we see that they're talking about everything and all things Black Lives Matter, some of the protesting, basically the same formula that all of the other reality shows have been doing, basically taking us back down memory lane of what we suffered through, actually what we're still suffering through, and the things that happened in June of last year. You know, we were on lockdown, then we had the George Floyd death, and then also Breonna Taylor. So they were taking us a little bit down memory lane as far as that's concerned. And then we see home videos of Rashida. Then we see one of Yandy, and I'm thinking, Yandy, what the hell? Baby, let me tell you something. Yandy says she gonna chase Mona Scott Young to the grave. Do y'all hear me? Look, Yandy said y'all can put Love and Hip Hop in Kentucky. Yeehaw, I'm gonna be there. I know that's right, Yandy, honey. Yandy said she gonna get that check if she don't do nothing else. So Yandy trying to be picture perfect. I mean, I'm so happy, and I'm so much closer to my dad. Dad, are you like happy that we're so close to you? He's like, it don't bother me none. Child, that is such a dad answer. Honey, them daddies do not be caring about what you are talking about, honey. He is not for all the mush stuff, and he probably thinking, get that camera out of my face, girl. So anyway, child, he said don't bother him none, honey. He happy if you're here, and he happy if you're not here. So Yandy tells us that she's officially a Georgia peach because Mandisi, S is silent, child, said that he no longer wanted to be in New York and he wanted a fresh start. Okay, girl. So, anyway, Yandy says, you know, there's this myth that I'm a strong woman. Girl, it ain't no myth, child. That's something you done made up for yourself. But, girl, you a strong woman doing it for yourself, honey. He was on lock and you was holding it down. So, I'm going to give you credit. She's like, but it's because of the people around me. Oh, y'all know Yandy going to give a speech. So, then Yandy's, I think that was her sister comes by, and Yandy was like, look, I got to go to Kentucky again because y'all know I got arrested last time, but I have to go out there and protest again. So her dad was like, for the Breonna Taylor thing, and she's like, yeah. So her dad said, like, is this going to be like a non-violent demonstration? Because last time you went down there, you know, all it takes is one person to mess up and something could drastically go wrong. And I mean, I am with him on that, child. I mean, I'm all for fighting and doing what's right, but at the same time, you want to make sure you are careful as well, right? So then we get introduced to young baby Tate, and to me, she kind of looks like Remy. When I was looking at her, I was like, okay, it's like a young Remy. Remy is so pretty to me. So she says she grew up an only child, so her friends, because they're like her friends are all around her friends are like her siblings, right? And they're talking about how she basically got it out the mud, because at first, she couldn't even get into events, and now she can afford a good wig. Okay, girl, good job. So her mom is Dion Ferris, the Grammy Award winning artist. Okay. And she says she needs to meet her mom where she is. Hey, can you say motivation? Okay. Her mama got 2 Grammys. She need 4. Honey, I love to see it. Y'all, I know that's right, honey. Use your parents as motivation. Honey, I hope I can be motivation to my son, because he did say he wanted to start his own YouTube channel. So I'm going to be right there backing him all the way. In the next scene, we see Bambi and her baby bump, and they're telling us the hookah and the Henny in Arizona got her knocked up. Child. Erica, I don't do Love and Hip Hop anymore. Minna is back, and she tells us that she's in her mansion with her husband and kids, but sometimes Safari act like he don't want to be bothered. Safari is childish. If it's any indication of the way he behaved on this episode and when he was on Love and Hip Hop LA, honey, Safari is a big old kid. So Minna said, look, everything is hard. Bambi said, look, her and Scrappy are not getting along, but like they getting into it. Okay, they getting into it as they get into it, and he is not allowing her to rest. Child, these men do not let you rest. Once you have a baby, they think it's cute when the baby's inside, but once the baby comes out, then you're on your own. Even women that are married can still be considered single mothers because the dad is not doing anything. So then Sierra pipes up. She's like, you know, the men are my friend and y'all are my friends too. Girl, pick a side, honey. That's why you and Carly are always arguing and fussing. So Sierra was like, look, y'all need to stop that Twitter beef talking to Erica, right? So she was like, yeah, Safari is just not the man I married. I'm confused as well. Because he was running after her. Running. He's a runner. He's a track star. Honey, he was running behind her. So I'm trying to figure out, see, that's the thing. They want to get you. Then once they get you, then they're bored. Honey, that's just how it is. Honey, Nikki may have been right about Safari. So I better listen to him. Erica said, I just don't know what happened. He's just not the same person. Now listen, Erica, you will emasculate a man. And you do have a mouth on you, honey. Y'all remember when she was arguing with Richie Dollars and then she told Peter Guns, you can't handle my mouth, mother. Y'all remember that? So Erica does have a mouth on her, child. Something ain't right. Rashida in the next scene is filling us in on the love making. Since the couples retreat. Like we really need to know about her and Kirk hunching. And she said they need to keep it spicy. Okay, Miss Caliente. And then the baby walks in, right? Which is Carter. He's not really a baby, but her younger son walks in and she's on top of Kirk. And I'm like, oh, please, honey, please don't give us a visual of what y'all got going on in there because I really could care less. And she's like, give us about 30 or 40 minutes. Kirk gonna look at that little boy and say, give me 4 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Ugh. Oh, my goodness. Not 4 minutes. That's so embarrassing. He loves to embarrass Rashida, honey. He is just ignorant. So then all of a sudden, Carter comes back in per production's request, honey, saying he wants to get in the bed and go to sleep. Child, you better get your big behind out from the middle of these people. Anywho, in the next scene, we see Sierra in this jewelry store getting her engagement ring appraised. Sierra, you did a few things questionable in this episode, and this Donald Trump comb over is one of them. I do not know what in the deep side part is happening. But girl, I ain't never seen a wig shift like that. Girl, if you don't shift that wig and make a part, y'all know I hate a partless wig. So Sierra takes us back to BK proposing, right? She said she called the engagement off about a week later, right? Because her family and friends were like, look, I knew you didn't love him. We knew someone right from the beginning. Well, child, I couldn't tell, honey, because the way she was screaming and acting a fool when he proposed, I could not tell at all. But listen, I do commend her for not just marrying to marry. Because oftentimes, once you say yes, you feel like you can't take it back. So you just go through with it, knowing in the pit of your stomach that it's the wrong decision to make. And then you end up getting divorced shortly thereafter. So I appreciate her actually doing something that she wanted to do. And she walked away. So I appreciate that. So she's like, look, I met BK at a vulnerable time. I had been married 8 whole years. I'm like, not 8 whole years. Was they supposed to be 8.5 years? Girl. Anyway, and she was like going through a divorce or whatever. And she was like, look, it was something about when he proposed to me that just didn't feel right. It wasn't authentic. It was just something in me that just didn't feel right. And she said she had fell out of love with him a long time ago, but she was trying to make it work to show the world. Honey, I've been there. Okay, you be sitting here thinking, I don't even like you no more. It's like the way they chew, the way they breathe when they walk in. And Lord, don't let them kiss you. I be ready to throw up, honey. But you know what? You be like, you know what? I'm going to stick beside him because, he mine. And I got to just go ahead and show the world that we good. And I mean, I have been there. But she said she still does look at his page. I'm like, girl, who hasn't been there? Honey, if you ain't stalking the Instagram page, then what are you really doing after a breakup? I'm just saying. So then she said she's with this guy named Eric, and the time between the breakup and her being with BK was 2 months. Girl, you just hopping from man to man. It's giving very much I can't be alone. Like something is not right. She's like, yeah, Eric is a very refreshing change from BK. He loves me for Sierra Renee, not for Sierra Glam Shop. He love you though? Girl gone, honey. Girl gone. I am not buying it. Then the appraiser comes back and he's like, it's worth $60,000. I'm like, oh, honey. It's not $60K. Oh, child. Rashida, that's who you might want to talk to about putting them on to make them want to marry you, because Sierra is getting that $60K rock, and then she going over here to the next man 2 months later, child. She's like, oh, yes, okay. She's like, let me get 2 Rolexes, a pair of earrings, 1 bracelet, and 1 gold too. So she didn't say that, but she might as well. And then she's like, I'm going to get my mama something too. I was like, that is so hood. But let me tell you something. I'm not a big jewelry girl. Let me tell you what I would have done. I would have sold that jewelry. I would have sold it back, and then I would have bought me some land. Because, honey, I need to make that $60K into $600K. Okay? I'm just saying, but that's just me. And it's all about the dividends, honey, because buying jewelry, it depreciates. You need to buy something that's going to build generational wealth. But then again, Sierra got bird brains, honey. So in the next scene, Yandy is over in the radio station with Jock, and Yandy just irks me, honey. Ugh, but she's still talking about something that matters, so there's that. And she's telling the people about the rally in Kentucky, right? And the organizers are Until Freedom. Now, you know, the people talking about Until Freedom over on the internets. But I don't know what's true and what's not true because it's just so much mix up, and they are actually doing something that's good. So, honey, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So then Jock was like, yeah, every time I look up, it's like you're doing something. So what made you have that change? And she said, listen, for a long time, I didn't think that there was a space for me. But after meeting Tamika D. Mallory, because you know they have to say her entire name, she knows that she can now make a difference and she can actually be in those spaces. And so she's trying to do something for the people. Okay, Yandy, power to the people. So Jock is feeling all inspired and whatnot. So he tells her to put him down. Honey, meet me in the trap. It's going down. Okay, young Jock. He gonna be there to fight for freedom. Over at Safari's house. Chum. He's still putting him and Erica's business out, throwing the trash away and picking up this picture that they strategically placed there because the cameramen were following him to take out the trash. I'm like, okay. So they just so happened to follow you to the trash can where the picture of your wedding was there and Erica threw it in the trash. Child, goodbye. So he's like, yeah, since moving to Atlanta, I've been getting real close to Scrappy. You know, he's married, I'm married. You know, both of our marriages are going through some things, so I just know that he can relate. Then here comes Scrappy. He shows up. Scrappy, you looking good. That biz naive is fizz naive. Honey, that means his body is looking fire if you don't speak little Scrappy. Okay? So he's like, look, I've been on the treadmill, Jack, because you know he love to call people Jack, every day. And Safari was like, yeah, you know, I just want to look like the Batman suit. Ugh, leave it up to Safari. Scrappy said, look, I just want to walk around with my shirt off. I know that's right, honey. Just one small goal. He just wants to walk around with his shirt off. I know that's right, Scrappy. So then Safari said, yeah, you know, I love working out. And Erica just doesn't understand it. She thinks I'm all about myself. You know why? Because she's not given the luxury of working out. She can't even take a minute to go to the restroom. The kids never let you do anything ever. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what you're complaining about. Boy, be quiet. He's like, I didn't realize having a baby was so hard. I didn't realize it was such hard work. Honey, welcome to our world as mothers. I really don't want to hear you whining. I really don't. Okay, I really do not. He was like, I wish somebody would have told me. Boy, get real. So then he said, with Erica, everything is a problem. She's upset about everything. Well, let's see why. She just had a brand new baby, okay? And your waterhead behind is acting selfish. So I'm sure there's a reason behind it. And as much as we don't like Erica, we have to come to terms with the fact that Safari is being a big old kid. Okay, I should have known you weren't going to be able to be a husband and a father the way you act. You act so silly all the time. You're acting silly. It's ridiculous. So Scrappy was like, so what's going on with the social media part? So then we see Scrappy in the confessional. He's like, yeah, I ain't no guru when it comes to marriage, but when you have to live with a person and see them emotionally and then y'all clash and then that's your ass. You feel me? Oh my God. Oh, child. Scrappy still got bars. This is just ridiculous. Not y'all gonna clash and that's your ass. Oh, Scrappy, honey. Boy, what are you talking about? Honey, don't pick up no more bad habits. You do not need to be hanging with Safari because Bambi will lay you out, child. She will wrestle you to the ground. That's a tile drink of water. You do not want those South Central LA problems. So then Safari was like, we have a 7-bedroom home and, you know, I'm still in the studio on a beanbag. You know, that's your problem. You chose to do that. Why are you living in the studio when there are 6 other bedrooms? Are you just trying to tell us you have a 6-bedroom home with the studio? Okay, duly noted. So then he's like, yeah, he and Erica, you know, we're just not seeing eye to eye. Child, y'all couldn't wait to air out y'all dirty laundry. He's like, all the name calling in front of people. What I tell you, she will emasculate a man. Honey, there is a way to fight fair. Okay, now sometimes you got to leave the name calling inside your head. You might be thinking it, but don't actually say it. Because see, me, I used to have a verbal vomit. And I would just verbally say whatever I felt like saying. No matter at what cost. I would just say it. And I had to learn and grow up and understand that that's not always the way, honey. You got to reel those things in. You can't just say whatever comes to your mind. So then he tells Scrappy, he's like, yeah, she not going to talk to us crazy. Repeat after me. Recite. Then he tells Scrappy to recite this mantra. I will be respected. Scrappy's like, yeah, I will be respected. He's like, I am somebody. He was like, I'm definitely somebody, Jack. He said, I want my feet rubbed and gold rose petals thrown at my feet. Boy, what in the Coming to America? Would you like her to wash you as well? Boy, be quiet. So then he starts acting, talking about how oatmeal and don't ask me to make no oatmeal if I throw the oatmeal and it tastes like cardboard and why you want some or whatever, child. Scrappy's standing there looking lost, as we all are, because I'm trying to figure out why he's going off on this tangent, and it seems very, very, very performative. Let it go. Over on the other side, in the car, young baby Tate and her manager are on their way to the studio to do a video, and she's headlining for South by Southwest. Now, they have to do it virtually because, this is when COVID was still very much prevalent, which it is now, but people are taking it a lot more lightly, getting that vaccine and whatnot. So they feel like it gives them a little bit more free reign, and also the states have opened up. But this was around the time when everything was still locked down. And side note, I love me some South by Southwest. I used to go every year in my 20s. But as soon as I hit 30, I was like, I can't do South by Southwest no more, honey. It's hot. You got to be doing all that walking. I'm good on that. So then she was like, yeah, I want women to feel good about themselves when they hear my music. Okay, girl, I love to see it. Then we see Sierra on her way to meet BK. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to ease some of his pain. Not ease some of his pain. Oh, going to get closure with air quotes. Okay, I'm doing air quotes right now. So he posted all over social media that she was a little cheater and broke his heart and whatnot. So she going over there to try to mend it, I guess, honey. I don't know what they got going on. So she's like, yeah, he was clearly hurt, but it's just time to get over it. I just really need him to get over it. So she walks in. And Sierra's looking like she's about to go to sleep, but go out. Honey, I was so stylishly confused. And I was thinking to myself, child, please do not let Monique see you in this lingerie bedroom attire in the street. I can just hear Monique now. Hey, my baby, I just want you to know that you don't have to wear things like that out in the public. Honey, close your robe up and go home and get yourself together and take those pins out of your hair. I love us for real. Monique, leave that lady alone. Leave that lady alone, okay? I could just hear it, child. Please hurry up and get inside before Monique come out, because I think she live in Atlanta. And she's like, yeah, I like to shop when I come in here. So he's like, well, make sure you get something for your man. They both being petty. And the thing about this was, I was looking at him. I'm like, not this broken heart on the back of your jacket. And then she come here half naked, looking like she just rolled out of bed. But then she kind of got herself together after a little rumble in the sheets. Child, if y'all gone. So anyway, she's like, don't be talking about another man. I know you're not talking about another man. I don't talk about other women. He's like, that's all you do. So then she was like, yeah, I kept it about us because I could never focus on another woman. So he's like, yeah, okay, Sierra, but you still checking his page, honey, to make sure that there's no other woman, though. But you ain't focused on another woman. Girl, you ain't fooling me. So she was like, yeah, I was just focused on him when you was cheating on me. He was like, you was cheating. She was like, I was not cheating. So honey, they going back and forth. Child, she was like, so you wanted to marry a woman that goes from man to man? He's like, you do go from man to man. Well, sis, it's looking like, honey, I hate to side with him, but it's looking like. Because, you went from Shooter to BK over here to Eric. Child, I'm just saying it's looking like. So he's like, you don't take no breaks. She said, Romel, stop lying. Child, not his government name. Oh, that's when you know it's over. That girl said, Romel, stop lying. Now, where did y'all get BK out of Romel? Is he from Brooklyn? I think Brooklyn is BK. So he's from Brooklyn? Child, okay. She's like, you want to belittle me, don't you? He's like, no, I don't want to belittle you. She's like, what about when you went to the blogs when I was cheating, which I was not? When you was cheating? Honey, that was a Freudian slip. Child, okay. He's like, I was pushed so far and, she wanted to portray me as the bad guy, but I'm the victim. She's like, look, I'm sorry it didn't work out. We weren't together. And he's like, I know you still love me. I'm like, okay, what are y'all? What are we doing, honey? I think you cheated. I think he cheated. I think y'all just have a lot of cheatation up and through the relationship. And now she done moved on and started hanging out with this dude, but I can almost guarantee she's probably going to be back over here with you if she's not messing with you while she's still messing with this dude. So what are we really doing? But we're going to get into it as we get into it. Child, this is ridiculous. He's like, I know you still love me. Honey, I don't know, sis, because it's looking like y'all got some chemistry still there. You looking up at him, kind of got a little smirk on you. You came with all your tatas out. So, I mean, I know we like to zhuzh it up when we going to see him because, let them know what they missing and whatnot. But at the same time, I think you still might want this man. So she said, I told you 4 months ago I was bored. Dang, she is a straight shooter. Honey, no pun intended. Honey, I know that's your ex. And she's like, Eric, oh, my bad. You know you did that on purpose. Girl, you know you did that on purpose. You do not look at this man that you have been with for 4 years and accidentally call him Eric. Now, let me tell you this. He took it like a G. Because I'm telling you right now, a lesser man would have cussed Sierra out. Do y'all hear me? Certain men don't play like that. All that accidentally calling them another man's name and all that. That's crazy. So then she looks at him. She's like, you need to take it like a G. It's over. He's like, take it like a G. How could you even talk to me that way? Honey, you know exactly the kind of person Sierra is. Look how she treated Carly Red for no apparent reason. There was no reason at all for her to treat Carly the way that she did. But she did. Something is wrong with Sierra. Over at the straight mansion, Safari and Erica finally talking. So Safari's like, I haven't seen you in a while. She's like, yeah, it's feeling like we're roommates. Honey, I remember those days. Look, when my marriage was falling apart, honey, it was just like we were roommates. We were sleeping in 2 separate rooms. He would come, put the money on the table for the rent. I would not have any kind of conversation with him. I would cook a meal for one. I would eat it when he came in and smelled the aroma of all things that were eaten, okay? Because you're not getting none of this food. If you want some food, you go to Little Heifers on the outside. That's just a side note. She's like, yeah, I feel like you're oblivious. Like, you don't let me sleep in. You don't fold clothes. Child, that's how they do when they get you. She's like, we're supposed to be a team. He's like, we're not a team. I don't throw the wedding picture away. She's like, you just tweeted to the entire world that I'm your biggest mistake. And you're worried about me throwing away a picture? He's like, that's Twitter. That's not real life. Safari, grow up. You just tweeted out something to humiliate your wife. And in essence, make the both of you look stupid. Because you tweet something like that, then you show up with a whole new baby bump. And now you're like, she's pregnant again. I don't know what kind of checks Mona is cutting over there. But all I'm going to say is, y'all really need to get it together. I just went and checked the mail, another check from Mona Scott. Like, I understand Cardi did it and whatnot. But y'all going to have to, this is ridiculous. It's just really ridiculous. And so she's like, he doesn't even feel any remorse for what he did. Girl, he don't need to feel no remorse for that because y'all know y'all did that because of Love and Hip Hop coming out. Y'all ain't fooling us, honey. We knew y'all was coming back when y'all did that. But listen to me, Safari. You need to write that mess down, write it in a song. Hell, you can even get a Speak Your Speech journal, honey. Available on Amazon. Just a shameless plug. But don't embarrass your wife. Okay? You need to cut that out. Do not embarrass your wife. She's like, you asked for my hand in marriage. And then when you got me, it wasn't exciting anymore. He's like, that's not true. She's like, well, what about you saying you don't want any more kids? He's like, it's a lot of work. I didn't know it was going to be that much work. And yet another baby is here. So, both of y'all are a little nuts. And I just realized in that moment that Safari is an Instagram dad. You know how they take those pictures together and then they post them with these little captions and everybody thinks, oh my God, he's so hands-on. He's always with his daughter. He's the best father ever. That's Safari. Because the way you looking on here versus how you look on Instagram, which is fake, as you say. Now we see what you're doing in real life. You're a faker, honey, and a poser. She's like, do you want to be married? I feel like you don't want to do life with me. And she starts getting kind of like teary-eyed, right? He's like, you're so dramatic. Oh, wow. Child, couldn't be me. Actually, she seems to have matured a bit. Y'all remember how her and Rich used to be screaming at each other all the time? So, I mean, it seems like she's a little bit more calm. And he's like, a one-on-one talking between us, it's just useless. She's like, you can't handle real life. He's like, what's real life? She said this. She's like, no matter what people do, everybody has problems. He's like, I don't like that aggressive side. You're too aggressive. She's like, you keep poking me, and then when I boil over, it's like, ooh, it's too hot for Safari. Child, Safari is checked out. So then she was like, well, what would you like me to do? He was like, you can do whatever you want to do. She was like, oh, you want me to do whatever I want to do? He said, yeah, please do. Then she gets up and walks away. Because at first, Erica probably would have picked something up and threw it at Safari. And I know his heart was beating kind of fast. But she got up and she slammed the door, and then the camera crew went behind her. But she had already taken off her equipment. And he's like, yeah, that's what she does all the time. Slams doors. She does that all day, every day. You just sat here and gaslit her for an entire conversation. She was actually trying to be vulnerable with you and actually trying to have a conversation with you. And you decided to be dismissive and act like what she's saying is all drama. Child, ain't no marriage gonna never last that way. So I don't know exactly what's gonna go on, honey. I don't know if it's real or if it's fake. I don't even know now, looking at that, if this beef that they have going right now is real. That could be all for a storyline. So, child, that's why I'm saying I don't know if I'm gonna keep reviewing this or not. It'll just depend on how I feel about the episode, but I did want to get this first one out here as a tester and see how it does. And you guys can talk down below and let me know exactly how you felt about this episode. And where was old ass Carly Red? Y'all remember Jocelyn used to call her that? Jocelyn used to call Carly Red that. And where was Spice? Those were the two people I was looking forward to seeing. But y'all, we'll still get into it as we get into it. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.